Good morning, guys. Today we're doing something really special, which is revised. We're seeing the third expansion of Magic the Gathering. This came out in April 1994, so it's really crazy. It's the first time that they rotated some cards in or out because due to the power level, and we get to watch and go over some just really old and iconic art. Speaking of, is this damaged? Again, thanks to these videos, I get to go over the sets, and I'm seeing that there's a little bit of ink on my Armageddon. Luckily, it's not one of the most expensive cards. I completed this set of revised maybe 10 years ago, so a fair amount of time, but not that long ago, and getting duels was already quite expensive. So we'll get to them when we get to them. This is a fairly big set. I'm not sure how many cards. Let me tell you in a second. 306 cards. Pretty big set for the third expansion of Magic the Gathering. And we get to hear and see a lot of these fun cards. Eye for an Eye. This is reminiscent of Arabian Nights. Beautiful Mark Poole art. Crusade. Is this the one that's banned? Yes, I think so. They banned a lot of art. I'm not entirely sure why. Some of them were, others I understand a bit more so. But we get to have a feel and see the difference in direction and how we went from stuff from 1994 to, let's say, here, bam. Some secret layer art. It's just, you would never guess this is from the same game, or would have an idea of what would happen by then. But yeah, it's really awesome. Again, obviously for these older sets, a lot of them there was no way to tell what was rare or not, so you just had to kind of have a list and know. It was always fun for me to see the Paladins. I like seeing all four. One for each direction. North, south, east, and west. And we see them more prevalently in the 7th edition set, which is probably my favorite rendition of them. Pure Lace, another fun rare. Sarah Angel, Swords to Plowshare. Oh, there's two Sarahs, yay. We get to see the beautiful Douglas Schuler Sarah Angel. Yeah, it's just major throwback seeing this kind of art, and I'm so happy that we went with revised today. It's nice to go over some of these really old sets from the very beginning of Magic. Like Wrath of God, which was printed many times, but still feels special to me. Probably to a lot of you as well. I should definitely be sleeving them. This is how I know that a lot of these cards were collected a long time ago for me. I had a top 5 of most expensive cards that that were reprinted, that were not dual lands, because I'm sure everyone knows that the dual lands are the most expensive. But outside of that, Copy Artifact is the second most expensive card in the set that is not a dual land at $50. I also like the titles, or how clear everything was. You know, Copy Artifact copies an artifact. Counterspell counters a spell. Drain Power. What does this do? Opponent must draw all mana from his or her available lands. This mana, opponent drains all your mana. Yeah, drains all of the mana, energy. All right, it's also pretty straightforward. Flight, Herky's Recall, of course, in its original form. Really fun and special. One of my all-time favorite was actually Mahamoti Jin. I've always loved this card. I'm I can't exactly tell you why, because there's no particular reason other than I was just drawn to the art. And same for Lord of Atlantis. I'd love you to comment or let me know what were your favorite cards in this set. Ooh, how fun. Little story for Serendib Befreet, being a blue card with a green frame. This is not an error for those that are not acquainted with it, but it's very fun. I actually love how bright blue the blue symbol is and how green the frame is. It was done in the design and really fun. I love this little kind of oddity in this set. Stasis is also another big one, and Vesuvian Doppelganger didn't make the top 5, but just about barely. It's at around like $26, $27 for this beautiful Quentin Hoover art. Thought lace. I love all the laces. What I would do in my early days of set collecting, I would try and either separate a page or make a lot of room between one color and the next, just because I thought it looked cleaner. So nothing is missing. It's just just filler. Black Knight. Of course, that went in conjunction with the White Knight. Very fun. Contract from Below and Dark Ritual. And it's beautiful and original art. These are so fun, and I'm so happy that I'm going over literally every set that I own, because I see mistakes that I made. I get to obviously share them and go over them. The beautiful Demonic Tutor here. This is the third most expensive set at around $40. I'm sure that number 1 will come to no surprise, but I'll leave it until we get there for anyone that doesn't know. Lord of the Pit, again, iconic and beautiful Mark Tedden art. This big, scary demon lord that we see in Alpha and Beta. The original Sangir vampire, one in very bad shape. I did not play with these cards. I just had a budget that was, I just didn't have the best budget when completing this set 10 years ago, and it took a long time. So some cards are in MP or worse, and then some cards are in great and clean condition. Earthbind, the card that saw a lot of buyouts, funny enough, just because of its art being banned. They're saying it was too sexy for Magic, with a Fae bound to the ground in a suggestive position. Was this our red lace? Yes, Chaos Lace. The Goblin King. If you played red or mono red and it wasn't just burn, you probably had a Goblin deck at some point. At least growing up, I would assume. So many of these are just are iconic. And actually, I forgot to take out Fork. Iconic and quite expensive, $35. Lightning Bolt, it's our first time seeing it, so I'm going to take it out and we're going to look at this beautiful Christopher Rush card that saw an insane amount of play and still does. Always bolt the bird, meaning kill the mana rocks anytime you can. Of course, iconic special, This is Magic, Shivan Dragon is magic. Probably even more so than, I don't know if it's more so than the Black Lotus, but to me, Shivan Dragon is very much magic. And here we go to our most expensive card that is not a dual land. A nice and clean Wheel of Fortune. And it's at around $250 to $300. And it's the most expensive non-dual land in the set. I'm seeing now that there is no spacing between the red and the green, so just let's say it's my 10 years ago logic. The Birds of Paradise, everyone loved this card. I'm gonna go a little bit faster now. Oh, I love the Elvish Archers. Because I'm sure if you stayed with me this long, you are mostly just hoping to see them dual lands eventually. Llanowar Elf. Yeah, it's some I have to take out just because, you know, iconic, important, fun, and playful. All this art and then a space again. Yep, my logic from 10 years ago made absolutely no sense. Basalt Monolith. Gee. It's a rough wake up this morning. Ivory Tower. This is this from Antiquities? Yes. Beautiful and iconic Mana Vault. She had here around $40. Beautiful card. We should do Alpha Beta Unlimited sometime. Here I'll do a little treat. If you stayed this long for the future. We'll go over this bad boy. My one and only Lotus. That's enough. Made me very, very happy and worked very hard to get that one. But yes. Winter Orb. I adore this card. Find it very fun and beautiful art again. And now, on to our duels. All right, let's just take them out for a second. And then, yeah, Volcanic Island here. They're all double sleeved or triple sleeved, however you want to call it. Fairly clean. I'm actually surprised at myself. Looks nice, probably like MP plus, LP minus. These beautiful cards that will never be reprinted and are so important in every aspect of gameplay for Magic the Gathering. I hope this is nice and in frame. They're really just beautiful, and their old school frame is so nice and special to appreciate. In terms of market, I remember buying an Underground Sea. I got this one for $150. It's okay, it's not too bad. But yes, nice and beautiful art. The first one I ever got was actually Tropical Island. That's my first duel ever, and it's this exact one. So it has some sentimental value for me. I traded a stack of cards for it. And the second one I got was either Plateau or Savannah, which I also traded for. Trading's a bit less common now for Magic. Usually just buy or go for store credit, which is, I guess, some form of trade. But yeah, and then we have the beautiful lands, and that's about it for Revised. Maybe you saw the little Black Lotus Easter egg in there. We'll go over Unlimited some other time, and thank you for sticking with me and going over these older sets and seeing some beautiful art with me today. Have a great day.